Hey, and welcome back, everybody, to Quality Quarantine with Mama Bear Apologetics. It is so good to see you. If your counting skills are up to par, you will notice there's only three of us right now instead of our usual four. Our fearless leader, Hillary, is out sick, not with corona, as far as we know. She's just not feeling well. It's that typical March, April nonsense that creeps in. So she won't be joining us for this series of week 3 of Quality Quarantine. So it's just going to be us ladies. And we have been loving all the interaction that we have seen on the computers from everybody getting involved, whether it's with the chalk drawings. We even saw some adults getting in with the coding, which we're going to show you on Fun Friday, which was just so fun to see everybody getting involved. It's been a huge blessing. So this week, we are going to start out our Movie Monday with one that's very common. It just came out this November, and it's Frozen 2, kind of following along suit with Frozen 1 from last time. And as always, we just want to stipulate that we're not necessarily recommending these as, good Christian videos or that sort of thing, but that you can use these videos that a lot of folks have seen, that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of little girls are dressing up as great conversational points. Now, one thing with my family, I've got a house full of boys. So I haven't seen this one yet because most of my guys are into, the other movies. I know, I feel I need to equal opportunity these kiddos and be like, no, we're going to watch a whole series of girly movies. But so this one I'm actually going to turn over because Elizabeth for Foundation Worldview wrote a really great article on 5 conversations that you can have with your kids after that you've watched this movie. And so we're not going to go over all 5. We're just going to hit on 2 of the big ones. And luckily, Lindsey, she's got a house full of girls. It's absolutely awesome. And so she was able to watch this movie too and interact. And so, Elizabeth, what were some of the things that you noticed when you were watching this video that sort of set your worldview radar pinging?
Yes. Well, I actually went into this film not expecting to write a blog post on it. A former student of mine texted me the day before and was like, hey, do you want to see Frozen 2 with me when it comes out tomorrow?
That's so cool.
Sure. So we went to the movie and 3 minutes into it, I turned and I took out my phone and I was like, I am not texting. I am taking notes.
Do you whisper to the people behind you sorry?
I didn't talk to them, but I told my student because I felt so bad because here I have my phone up, but I'm like, man, people are going to need some guidance. Working through this one because right off the bat, it's just obvious that it's a really engaging story and it has some really great, beautiful moments in it, and also has some things that are untrue in it. So it's a great opportunity just to engage in the Mama Bear chew and spit method. For chewing on the good things and looking at what can we take away from this, and then what do we want our kids to actually recognize as this is not something that's beneficial. So Lindsey, I think you said one of your girls was homesick a few weeks ago and watched it 4 times.
Oh my gosh!
And y'all, I like Frozen, but that was a lot.
That was a lot. That's like those dads that would do those videos where they're they've never seen did you see that? It's they've never seen the movie because they always have it playing in their van, but they know all the songs and the dads were rocking out to it. Yeah, you were like that. You knew everything by then.
I know it. Samantha? Yep, I know it all.
So what was something big that you took away in conversations you had with your girls, Lindsey?
So in the greater scheme of things, the biggest thing I took away was that the positive thing that they did was focus on emotion and overcoming depression. So at one point in the film, Anna is in a literal dark cave. She has just experienced a close one dying in her arms. Spoiler alert. And she is alone and feeling as though she cannot escape these depressed feelings. And that's when she sings this ballad called The Next Right Thing. And it's she puts one foot in front of the next to move her way up the path to this tiny dark light space so that she can remove herself from this darkness. Of course, it's in her own power, right? She's not praying for God's help or anything like that. She's looking within to find the strength to move on despite her feelings of depression. So that really moved me because I have experienced some times where I felt in a dark space and I recognized oh yeah, I needed to be told take it one day at a time and move forward from that. I think kids will recognize that too, because not a lot of times we're talking about emotions. And so this was an opportunity to say, have you ever felt like you couldn't move forward? And what did you do to overcome that feeling? And then bringing in, the hope that comes from the gospel would be a great thing for Christians to do. And then Olaf is always a highlight for me. I mentioned it last week. He's not as funny haha in this film. There are some moments where he's playing charades where he's super funny, and a couple of other things, but for the most part he's very reflective. He's thinking about, and he's very pensive, and he's thinking about life and the meaning of life, and am I ever going to figure this out? And that's when he sings this song, things will always make sense when things will make sense when I'm older. Yes, that. Sometimes, this will make sense when I'm older. And as adults, we're like, I don't know if it actually will make sense for you.
I'm still waiting on that to happen.
I haven't had that happen to me yet either. So
yeah, if you want the funny Olaf, just as a little tip, if you do decide to watch the movie, if you watch to the end of the credits,
like how the little plays.
Yeah, so that it ends like with a really funny moment with Olaf. But I love Lindsey, how you really applied that chew and spit method there, showing how it's so positive, to be talking about, like what we're feeling, and, like when we're in a dark place, like choosing to do the next right thing, but then taking it a step further as Christians, how we know, what the next right thing is. Because actually now, since I've been out of teaching for a little bit, most of my students are in junior high or high school. I had a conversation about Frozen 2 with another student after, and she's like, what really confused me about that movie? And I was like, no, what? And she's like, how do you know what the next right thing is if you don't have any objective standard of morality? And I said,
she gets a slow clap. That girl's awesome.
I know. Yeah. I know. Really good one. Another thing in there that I think could be really great to talk with kids about is in one of Elsa's, I don't know what you call it, not theme songs, but one of her huge numbers.
Ballads.
Yes, Ballads of Elsa. In Show Yourself, where it's this moment, where she's really finding out, so much truth about who she is. And in this, there's this moment where she connects with her mother, or the spirit of her mother. I never really got exactly what that was, but somehow she connects with her mother, and her mother says, you are the one you've been waiting for all your life. And Disney is so good at capturing like facial expressions that really show what we're feeling, and that image will be burned forever in my mind, because the facial expression that Elsa has, I'm like, I know exactly what that feels like.
The little quivering lip.
Yes, when you just, this huge sense of relief, I've been waiting for somebody to tell me that for so long. And that's just such a good thing to talk with our kids about, because she experiences this huge relief, being like, oh my gosh, I have within me everything I need, where that's the complete opposite of the gospel. That the whole point of the gospel is that we do not have everything within ourselves that we need. We are not the ones we've been waiting for, but we are incredibly loved by God, and Jesus is the one we've been waiting for. So that's just a great conversation to have with our kids, and especially in this season, because a lot of times we can kind of fake it, I am the one I've been waiting for, look at me, where it's right now we're locked in our houses because the tiny microscopic virus is wreaking havoc. We are not the ones we've been waiting for. So just another great conversation to have with kids.
And that's awesome, because it does, it really shows that true the true gospel is finding that it is Christ that loves and died for us. It's, we cannot save ourselves from this. And, it sounds so good. We would love to have that solution be within ourselves. In fact, that's most of the self-help books. That's kind of the whole market, is you already have that solution within you. And no, it's a huge relief to realize that, no, I don't, but God does. And he's capable and he's willing. And so that is just absolutely awesome. And we're going to, this whole theme of this, how do you know? And I love your student. She was saying, how do we know what the next right thing is if we don't have this objective standard? And if you have wondered that question, or your kids have wondered it, and let me tell you, if you've got teens in your household, they're going to be thinking these things. They're going to be wondering them. Stay tuned to our later videos, because we're going to hit exactly on this topic. And so just a fun little preview for tomorrow, we're going to dive into some sort of training that involves maps. And so stay tuned for this. And we thank you guys so much for joining us for Movie Monday. Bye.
Bye.